So Mika Koivuniemi 4 pins better than Andres Gomez, and the Big Finn moves on to the semifinal to take on Mr. Doherty from Tampa, Florida. Today, we take a look back at the 1967 Tournament of Champions for our Just for Men Mustache and Beard Keep Your Edge moment.
Here is a $10,000 ball.
Let's watch this ball close, Ed.
First 300 game on ABC Pro Bowler Tour from Riviera Lane.
And that 300 game happened at the 1967 TOC. Rob Stone, Bo Burton back here with you. You know plenty about TOCs, Bo. Tell me your favorite TOC moment. I know there's a lot of them.
Well, I had a lot of them, but that is one of them with Jack Biondolillo there. That was the holy grail of bowling. Bowling 300 was the 4-minute mile back then. And I sat in a hotel room and watched him throw that game. I couldn't believe it. It set everybody's goals higher. But some of the other moments that I really, really like are, say, Marshall Holman had a great moment. I think we'll have a piece on him. Billy Hardwick, Dave Davis, Barry Asher, all great players. Back then in black and white, it was fun.
Marshall Holman with a big win at the TOC that you say really kind of kicked his career into high gear.
Yeah, Marshall Holman was the new guy on the block. He was the guy that filled in the big three. There was Earl Anthony came along, and then Mark Roth came along, and here's the guy that we love to have on television, Rob. You never knew what Marshall was going to do. One of the greatest talents that ever stood on a bowling lanes, but he could do anything. He went in a slump at one time. He lost 15 straight matches in the championship round, and boy, was that fun to call the action on those.
Yeah, he won that TOC in 1976, won his second 10 years later, one of only a handful to win multiple TOC's titles. And again, we're at the TOC. We talk about the TOC. The TOC means so much more to you than just great moments, also great times with your former partner.
Well, Chris Schenkel, as you well know, was my partner for better than 2.5 decades, and he was just a great guy all the time. He was his gentleman, and you know what? He really knew bowling, Rob. A lot of people accuse Chris of saying, well, you're just standing there and like you know bowling. And what Chris would do, he would use his color analyst to the maximum, and he was great at that. And there's a cute story real quick. Every once in a while, he'd get a weird leave like you just had in the match. Let's say the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. And he'd look at me and he'd say, Bo, that's an ugly cluster down there. What do you have to do? And I'd say, Chris, well, you got to throw the ugly cluster shot. And he really knew his bowling, and he was great, and he was the voice of professional bowling.
The ugly cluster. I'm going to have to use that. Hopefully we won't see one in the next segment. And by the way, I love the blazer and the there it is, the ABC Sports logo. Going old school on us, Bo. It's great to have you here with us. It doesn't show. It wears well. Bo will be back with us a little bit later in the broadcast. And when we return, Tom Doherty from Tampa, Florida, gets set to make his TV debut. You'll witness it after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, and the incomparable Bo Burton welcoming you back to ABC's live coverage of the Tournament of Champions, coming away from Red Rock Lanes here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mika Koivuniemi lives to bowl another match. The 3 seed, 4 pins better than Andres Gomez. Up now, your semifinal showdown with Tom Doherty. A wonderful from nowhere story is Tom Doherty. We'll get into that in just a moment. But Mika Koivuniemi will bat leadoff here in our semifinal match as the Big Finn steps up on the left lane.
The number 2 qualifier is a 4-time PBA regional champion from Wesley Chapel, Florida, TD, Tom Doherty.
Doherty had to bowl 72 games over 6 days just to get here on television, by far more than any of our 4 finalists. And leaves the 2-8-10 out of the gate.
And talk about being welcomed to television for the first time ever. You see Tom Doherty doesn't use his thumb. There's a thumb there on the side of the bowling ball. Very first shot, 2-8-10.
The first event of the season for him and his first television show. A big cleanup effort here, and he'll go open frame in the first. And if we've learned anything, an open frame in the first does not spell complete disaster. Koivu Niemi had an open frame in the first frame in his last match. As we take a look at Tom Doherty's arsenal today.
Going with a Nomad dagger, not the hookingest ball in that line or in his arsenal, but that's what he brought today. Reason being, he's got a rev rate of probably close to 600. A lot of RPMs coming out of this hand right here.
And the first televised strike for Tom Doherty. A big crowd at Royal Lanes in Lutz, Florida, cheering him on right now. And he and Patrick Allen have a pro shop there, and a big crowd in Tampa watching Tom Doherty today.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Tom Doherty gets it going, he's a lot of fun to watch. Very animated. Right now, he's just got to figure out a way to keep his emotions in check. This man knows how to do it.
Back-to-back opening jacks in the semifinal match for Mika. Coming your way, Super Bowl Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's the third installment of the Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational, and I'm going to go on a limb, Randy, and say it was probably the most enjoyable Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational we've had, and we've had some good ones. Lil Wayne was there, Nelly, Reggie Bush. Nelly in the booth with us? Priceless.
Yeah, but why did they have to show Lil Wayne throwing it in the gutter? I mean, that's there's no love there.
That is disrespectful
It
to
is.
Lil Wayne. Opening three-bagger for Mika Koivu Niemi. His wife applauds. Again, it's Koivu Niemi, by far the most experienced of the four bowlers on today's TV show, and he is up 31 early on Tom Doherty. The big four is a big problem now for Doherty.
Well, remember, he went light in the first frame, made an adjustment, and goes right through the nose. As you can take a look at that backswing there, he's got a full cup wrist, no thumbing it. He liked that shot. You saw him running it out early. The Big Four only made once on television. That's by Walter Ray Williams Jr. But right now, he's got a mountain to climb.
Stay aggressive.
A huge early hole for Doherty. Down 45, there's his wife Kristen looking on. Kristen and Tom, proud parents of an 8-month-old girl, Cameron. Tom, also his son Cody, watching as well back home.
And again, Rob, the only problem with excessive rev rate
That was a bad shot.
is when the lanes are flat like this and you can't pure shots off your hand, a little left or a little
man.
right is
Have a
disastrous.
chance.
2-8-10 in the first frame when he got it wide. Nice shot in the second. Through the nose in the third for the Big Four. Right now, Tom Doherty struggling to find rhythm.
Oh, no.
Well,
The crowd trying to pick him back up, but this is a massive hole he has dug himself. He needs Mika Koivu Niemi to make some major errors if he's going to get himself back in this.
And I just don't see that happening. Mika is a seasoned veteran, a major champion. He's been in this situation before.
An opening four-bagger here in the semifinal match for Koivu Niemi. He is in absolute cruise control right now. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Two of the preseason favorites in the Big Ten hook up on Saturday primetime. Jawan Johnson and Purdue taking on Jarrell Summers and the Spartans of Michigan State. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV on ESPN tonight at 9 Eastern. Coverage begins with College Game Day, driven by State Farm at 8 Eastern. That game also available online at ESPN3.com and on your phone. Koivu Niemi trying to start with a perfect set of 5 strikes. And he does.
Right now, Mika's got his eye on the trophy. He says, I'm going to put away Tom Doherty, and then I'm going to have a go at Tom Smallwood for the title. Through 5 frames, he is not going to let up. He is a champion, and when he gets an advantage from his opponent, he's going to take advantage.
All right.
Well, I promise you, this wasn't the ball reaction he had to get him to this point. I remember watching last night in position round.
Are you kidding me?
With Nelson Burton Jr. sitting right next to me, and Tom Doherty, well, he beat Tom Smallwood in position round and came back to us and said that was the greatest game he's ever bowled in his life.
All right, I got 50.
He averaged a 225.26 this week, highest of our 4 finalists. He's not displaying it right now. He's displaying a good attitude, but obviously a disappointing outcome for him thus far. 3 open frames in his first 5.
Well, Tom, welcome to live television and a major championship. And sometimes it can be cruel.
Yeah, this is more like cruel and unusual punishment. But Mika Koivuniemi in the background, stoic look.
I guess that's what I get for breaking up every split this week.
His face has not changed. He is focused and dialed in and will not take his foot off of Doherty's throat. Another open frame for Tom. He will take a seat, and Mika Koivuniemi, perfect through 5, is that much closer to a title match showdown with Tom Smallwood and a $250,000 payday. We're back to Vegas after this.
The PBA Tournament of Champions on ABC. Brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Vice Inserts, the choice of champions. It doesn't get any better. Brunswick. Find your next ball at bowlwithbrunswick.com. And Barbasol. Start your day with Barbasol shaving cream.
We welcome you back to Las Vegas. Dennis Matthews, the bowling operations manager here at Red Rocks Lane, there on your right. To his right and our left, that was Fred Schreier, the PBA commissioner and CEO. Thanks to Dennis and Fred and everybody involved in putting on this wonderful event here. Again, this is the 46th edition of the PBA Tournament of Champions, the second major of the season. The first was last weekend, won by Chris Barnes, the PBA World Championship. Now Mika Koivuniemi closing in on a title match showdown with number 1 seed Tom Smallwood. Mika up 101 pins. Here he closes out the 6th. Perfection continues for Mika.
Well, he followed the game plan to perfection thus far, Rob, and that's straighter is greater. That's his A game. He's going with loft. He's going nice and straight and direct. But you know what, when asked last night why he had success this week when it looked like it was a power players tournament, he said, simple. I just made great shots.
He was on last week's PBA World Championship show, was the 5th seed, finished 6th. And another strike, so 7 in a row for Mika. And when we talked to him last week, he was confident, on the verge of maybe being a little cocky, a little too confident. We talked to him yesterday, and his sense it was dialed down just a little bit, enough to know that he was comfortable with his game and where he was. but some of that edge had left. Tom Doherty here in the 7th, picking up the pace and getting a strike. His second on TV, and exhale. Now we take a look at the Bear Trusted Pain Relief Replay, brought to you by the makers of Bear Aspirin, and some much needed relief for Doherty getting a strike here in the 7th.
Well, Tommy's had a nice run in this event. Remember, he had to bowl 72 games. He qualified for this event by being a regional winner. Andres Gomez qualified for this event because he is a current exempt player. Only Gomez and Stuart Williams of England were the only 2 non-champions in this entire field. This is turning into a nightmare for Tom Doherty.
Yeah, the beauty of it, though, is he has such a great personality and persona.
Now I'm relaxed again.
Now you relax a little bit?
Now I'm fine.
Mika say, now I can sit back and enjoy. And Doherty, just one of the real good people out here. You and I have known him for a while. We also want to send on a quick get well message to his father-in-law. Craig McGuire was in a really bad accident Thursday morning in Florida, was life flighted out, was in the hospital last night. Looks like everything's going to be all right with Craig, and we wish him a speedy recovery.
Gotta get to 100. Gotta get to 100.
Yeah, he needs 2 marks to break 100. It'll be the lowest game in Tournament of Champions history.
126?
I'm sure he'll
and he
love
needs,
you mentioning that.
Well, you know, I'm just stating facts, sir. The lowest game ever bowled on television, 126. He's got his work cut out for him.
Here's Mika, perfect through 7. His effort in the 8th. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to talk about it. It has been nothing but strikes for Koivu Niemi in the semis.
Well, the biggest lopsided game in Tournament of Champions history. 20 perfect games bowled on TV. The last one being Rhino Page, 2009 Tokyo, Japan.
In the Japan Cup.
Prior to that, it was here in the States, Ryan Schaefer in Indianapolis.
Perfection continues for the Big Fin.
And who can forget Mika Koivu Niemi, December 7th, 2003, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. He bowled a perfect game against Jason Couch.
The 17th perfect game in PBA history. You see Tom Doherty stepping up and firing as a class move. He is trying to get out of the way and let Mika and his pursuit of a perfect game in history get going. And we really don't want to rush Tom off stage, but I think he would like to get off stage as quick as he can. Almost a great pickup.
Get up, fire off, get the 10th frame out of your way, and step aside for that man, Mika Koivu Niemi. Perfect.
I mean, really? Again?
All right, I need 2.
2 for 100.
Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom.
Tom, don't do it.
They're not booing. They're chanting 2. You gotta love it.
Unbelievable.
I mean, these are numbers.
Oh man, you got to feel for him.
These are numbers my wife would put up at the bowling center.
Got to
Here we
feel
go.
for
I
him.
need 2, baby. 2.
Come on, Tom. We're cheering for you, bud.
Yeah!
Yeah! Give him 100! Oh, glorious.
Right.
Get it and live it up, son.
All right. Hey, we got some business over here.
True that. So Doherty with the 100 sits down. Koivu Niemi trying to pull out a 300. A smile finally cracks the face of Koivu Niemi. Again, only 20 times on television has a 300 game been rolled, only 4 times at a major. He is 3 strikes away from a perfect game. Two strikes away from perfection.
Mika Koivu Niemi is got his sights on a major championship, standing in the way. Possible perfection What a game plan he came in with today.
2 strikes away from a $10,000 bonus check for dropping a 300 game on television.
Nobody's ever done it twice on TV.
Yeah! 1 more to go! Come on, Mika! Come on, Vegas, get up!
Well, he actually pulled that one a bit wrong, and I think he's a bit surprised that it held line.
He did not like it on the release, but the result will work just fine.
It's going to take a re-rack and regroup, and normally when you see somebody get away with one in the 10th or the 11th shot, 300 is right around the corner because that's the break they needed. He's going to be nice and relaxed. I'm going to go out on the limb and say he's going to throw this one really good.
There it goes. It's gone. Leave it like that.
Come on, Mika.
He's already moved on to our title match and crack at a $250,000 payday. Now he's attacking history, trying to become just the 2nd person to throw a 300 game at the Tournament of Champions. For perfection. Come on, Messenger. Come on. No. That didn't happen.
Reminiscent of Don Johnson's 299. You see Mika hit the turf. Jack Beyond the Little's record is safe. The only 300 game ever bowled back in 1967 at the Tournament of Champions.
Now Mika has to regroup and refocus on the real task at hand. A $250,000 payday by winning the TOC. Here's his last shot.
Got it in the oil just a little bit. The ball finishes just a bit soft. Messenger comes over only to be denied.
Wow. Grammy nominated Bowling for Soup takes the stage with a live performance when our presentation of the richest bowling tournament in history returns.